Good evening, everybody, and welcome back for what has been an absolute... God, it's been a long time, a couple of months, I think, since we've been here on YouTube, and it's a pleasure to be back. For those who do not know me, I am Danielle, better known as Danielle The Happy Medium, and tonight is all about a live stream, an opportunity for me to talk a little bit to you, the general public, about your mediumship and all things spiritual, to talk a little bit about maybe some courses and classes that I have available, and we can also just chat about the spirit world in general. As I say, it is your stream, it's not mine. I will give my knowledge. Good evening, Laura. Nice to have you here with us. Thank you very much for joining me. It's an opportunity for me to give you some of my hints and tips in regards to your mediumship, your development. The chat box is available. I don't know if many of you can see it. I hope you can. Please do share this video. It really does help with the algorithm. It's probably going to take us a couple of weeks to get things up and back on their feet, but you're going to be seeing a lot more of me. Missy Honey's in, Sharon's in as well, Medium's in as well. It's a pleasure to have you all here with me, so thank you very much for your comments, and certainly the floor is open for you to talk about anything you want to talk about. Hi Danielle, I've missed you. Hi Brandy. Well, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me, so here we are. We've been away just doing lots of bits and pieces and sort of getting things sorted out. Healing the Woman says, spreading the love and light. Yes, I agree. Kathy's in as well. So good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are in the world. It is a pleasure to be back. Like I say, it's been a long time, a couple of months since I've been here, but here we are anyway. So the chat is already working. So you're certainly welcome to write your questions in there for me. I'll certainly do my very best to comment and sort of give you my feedback on them. Vicky's in as well, so good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. You can see the scroll running along, so if you're interested in any courses or classes, do check out our website, which is www.daniellethehappymedium.com, where you'll find everything available to you. So I'm really Dell's in as well. Love your work. I've seen all your videos and made notes. Well, thank you very much, Medium. I appreciate that. You know, my videos are very popular. We are going to be coming back and doing some single videos because it has been massively requested, so I'm certainly going to come back and do. I kind of guarantee they'll be up every week, but we're certainly going to do some ones for you, and you're more than welcome to email us at the oddbodschoolofmediumship@gmail.com, where we more than happily will take your requests for any videos in which that you would like me to do. So without further ado, the floor is yours. And you are more than welcome to write your comments in the comments box. There's Laura just putting up the website for you there, if you certainly want to take a look at that. And certainly by all means check it out after the stream as well. As I said, do share this video to your Facebook or YouTube or wherever it is that you put it. I don't know where you put it. It certainly does help with the algorithm, and it certainly does help with YouTube with regards to all them types of things. So yeah, I'm very excited to be back. Like I say, it's been a while. I've been a very busy lady training. It's been ages. Yeah, well, I've been very busy with training, very busy with classes and courses and mentoring and these types of things, and I took a little bit of a break, as you do, just to sort of concentrate on other things, but I'm now able to concentrate on this a little bit more, which I'm always excited. I mean, I do love YouTube. I do like Facebook and all, but I've got a thing for YouTube these days, in all fairness. And if you're not already with our group on Facebook, certainly do get involved in that. Yes, I certainly feel if you feel that's something that you would be interested in. Laura's putting in the email there if you certainly want to send your requests in regards to your videos or requested videos you would like me to do moving forward. Please do give the video a like. It certainly again helps with the algorithm with YouTube, and certainly helps the algorithm to recognize that we are here. So medium's first in question. I have been doing the sitting in the power I've been doing the sitting in the power exercise, where when I breathe in and I expand my aura, and when I'm breathing out I focus on feeling my energy. Can you elaborate on that? Very helpful. I do it a lot. Yeah, so basically what we're saying is as you breathe out, your auric field will start to move out. And as you breathe in, you should feel that energy starting to decrease. And then as you breathe out, you should start to feel it expand. Now, you may feel this on a clairsentience link, but you may just know this, you may see it. There's a couple of sort of terminologies that you could use there, medium. You know, it's certainly, you know, the one which works best for you. Sitting in the power is one of my favourite things to do. Like, I've got to be honest, it's certainly something I thoroughly enjoy, something I do every day. Funny enough, I've just done a class on it. I've just come out of a class to come on here, and that's exactly what we've been doing there, sitting in the power techniques. But yes, in order to do that expanding, basically it's just you feeling, so as you're sitting, because your power, your breath is the power. So as you're breathing out, you feel that you feel that auric field like sort of move, and then as you breathe in, you feel that auric field move in. Now again, this is sitting in the power for you, so it's not actually sitting for the power for the spirit world. There is two different types, which I've discussed I think on some other videos in regards to mediumship. Which is where we sit for us or we sit for the spirit world. You can actually mix them together as well if you so wish, but that one you're actually talking about is sitting for yourself. So it's just becoming aware of your energy and how much power your energy has and what your energy feels like as you're breathing in and out. So I hope that answers your question a little bit there for you. Del saying, laugh out, always needed. I've done the same. Yeah, I've just been very busy with training. I've got to be honest, classes are very busy at the moment, you know, and they have been over the last couple of months, and my time just need to be there with them. But it's certainly something I've thoroughly enjoyed, but I do want to be back on YouTube because I do enjoy it over here. But it's good to see you, Del. It's nice to see you back. Laura's just adding the Facebook group there for anybody who maybe wants to join. Kathy's in. Hello, Kathy Pet. What would you say is the best and most challenging part of being a professional medium? There's lots of things that I love about being a professional medium, and just for the title there, as Kathy's using, professional medium really means that I am somebody who makes money from mediumship. Basically, that's what professional medium means. Other than that, really, the terminologies and labels, you know, anybody who watches my YouTube lives or, you know, sits in my classes will know that I'm not a big fan of labels and all these types of things. But for the human minds and the appreciations of human minds, I know labels are very important. So the best part is seeing my students do well. I've got to be honest. Yeah, seeing my students get that connection with the spirit world, where my students really sort of enhance and move forward. That's got to be one of the best feelings in the world, when my students actually I have a motto. A motto is that I always want my students to be better than me, which I think is probably a very unusual motto that you're probably going to hear from a professional medium, but I always endeavour to get my students to be better than me. So when they actually get that and when that actually works for them, I'm like, yes, do you know what I mean? And that's probably something for me as a professional medium that really... it really drives home why I do sharing of knowledge, and why I endeavour to always encourage students to be the best that they can be. Another one is the personal development, which I talk about quite a lot, not only in classes but also on here on YouTube. Is the personal development, so seeing the instrument grow as well as the development of the medium. When the instrument grows, they find they're less triggered. They find that they are more responding rather than reacting. They're not as fear-based. They're very much in control with the spirit world and very in control with what they're doing. So that's another great experience for me as well. What other things have I enjoyed? I've enjoyed demonstrating. That's something else. It's a big passion of mine. Demonstrating and working for the spirit world, doing spirit communications. That's something else that I find is one of the best things in this world. Working for the spirit world. I just love working for the spirit world. It's probably one of the best things I can possibly say. One of the most challenging things, learning not to be triggered, learning to, and if I am triggered, learning to breathe, sort of take a step back and sort of look at it from all parameters, all awarenesses, you know, that type of thing. The most challenging thing is sometimes that I don't always get the mechanics that even the spirit world give me, and I have to sort of work with them and blend them through my mind a little bit more. That can be a bit challenging. What's the other thing that's probably been one of the harder things for me? Just learning to be acceptant of who I am as Danielle, and also as Danielle the medium. I think most mediums will go through this at some point or another within their mediumship. And just accepting that, you know, we're not perfect, we are going to make mistakes, and that everything is as it should be. I'm a big believer in you know, nothing's a convenience in regards to, you know, the evidential work that we do as spirit people. And also there's no convenience in people that we meet and the things that we do in life. So there would be some of the more challenging things. Trying to find that bigger awareness when not everybody agrees with me is another thing that I always work on, but sometimes can be very hard when people talk about protection and, you know, this type of thing, which really doesn't work within my awareness of mediumship. But it's something that I see quite a lot of. Sometimes I see a lot of write-ups about, you know, people who talk about demonics and things like that, and that can be very challenging for me, because as a person who shares knowledge, I understand the spirit world very well, as lots of other mediums in the industry do, and that can be quite challenging because I know it's going to cause a lot of fear. So that can be quite challenging for me at times, Kathy. But I appreciate that everybody has their own understanding and their own awareness, and it's just an acceptance of the mind, and that eventually minds will come to understand that them things aren't really true. But, you know, I have to appreciate that from time to time. So hope that gives you a little bit of insight there, Kathy darling. Jess is saying, do I still do readings? Personal sittings. Yeah, there's some up on the website, I think, but they are stopping at the end of the year because we've got some new things coming in, so I'm very excited about that. Laura saying, great question. Yes, I'd agree, Laura. It is a great question. Medium saying, thanks for answering my question about the breathing exercise. It's quite all right. Which of your exercise will you recommend for connecting with spirit after I've done 15 minutes of breathing? Just shift the mind. So I do a class on shift and blend of the mind. That will be another one, one that was designed by me and my spirit team. Because obviously I am trained by the spirit world, so all my classes and courses are designed with me in the spirit world in mind and my students. So the one I would probably recommend is blend and shift of the mind, so that you are actually shifting your mind to the spirit world and keeping your connection with them as you are doing more sitting in the power techniques, maybe finding guides, doing development, you know, whatever it may be with your intention there, medium. So that would be probably the next one I would recommend. And then I have some other classes which is called the 3-step and step in. There would be another couple of ones that I would recommend in that parameter. So I hope that answers your question for you a little bit there. Brandy saying, when I get really sick, I always feel disconnected from spirit world and I have a hard time connecting again. Any tips? Love you, Danielle. Well, thanks, Brandy. Sometimes is the instrument, and I've got to be honest, even, you know, when I'm doing mediumistic work and you know, I'm really tired and I'm a bit worn out and, you know, all these types of things, my connection is never as good as when I'm, you know, flying on what I call a high flying disc. So I'm strong, I'm in a good place, my mind's in a good place, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes when we disconnect, sometimes it can just take a little bit of time to just sort of get back on the bike, is the best way I can put it to you, Brandy. We never lose riding the bike, but when we get back on the bike after maybe taking a break, or we've been sick, or we've disconnected, or whatever, it takes us a little bit of time to get into the rhythm. Once we start doing it more repetitively, or we start doing the development more again, or sitting on a regular basis, it starts to pick up again. So what I would say to you is just get back into the habit of you doing your sitting in the power type of stuff. Getting back out there practicing, maybe doing some classes, and you'll start to find that it'll quickly pick back up, because once you get on the bike, it just needs a bit of steadying, and then once you get that going, it becomes a regular flow there. So that would be my answer in short to your question. We never ever, once we establish that connection to the spirit world, we never lose that connection. It is always available to us, and it never ever ever goes away. It just becomes a little rusty. It's like anything that we do, it needs a little bit of time, or it just needs a little bit of you know, work to get it back where it was once before. So I hope that answers the question. Not a problem, not a problem. Kathy's saying, thank you as always. I appreciate your wisdom and honest answers. You'll always get an honest answer to me, Kathy. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes that doesn't work for me or not, but here we are. But yeah, not a problem. Dell's saying, what is the best way to get back into mediumship, as I found it hard to get back into? Sitting is probably the first place I'd take you. I would say get back sitting on a regular basis. You know, I've just been talking about this, funny enough, in a class, like I said just previously. Sitting, getting back into the habit of sitting on a regular basis, regular time. You'll tend to find that the momentum picks up quite quickly. Then if you're ready to start maybe doing some classes, do some classes. If you're not doing classes, you can maybe try some, free readings and, these types of things. But they would probably be the first things that I would say. Most mediums might head for development, which is back into classes. That's also okay as well. Just make sure that you've got your instrument sort of tuned in there a bit, and if you've been out of action for a little while, you may need to just do a little bit of that as well alongside the classes. It depends on what route you want to go, Del. There's a couple of different routes. Not one is right, no one is wrong. Al is really good, I've got to be honest with you, in that one. It depends on what your preference is as the instrument. Some instruments want to do it one way, some instruments want to do it another way. Neither one is right, no one is wrong. Check out both of them. That's what I would say to that. Marie's in. Hello, my friend. I hope you're well and keeping okay. Laura's just adding some of the classes there as well. And Brandy saying thanks very much. Del saying maybe I should join one of your classes. Why not? They're busy, but never overly busy. I'm one of them mediums who I'm all about quality over quantity of mediums. I'm not saying that I do any different than anybody else. I'm just saying that I do it a different way, and it's just the way that works for me. I have no problem with that. I like to, give as much advice and guidance and hints and tips in regards to my classes. You would have to try one, Del, to see if it was for you. I'm not saying my classes are for everybody. All I'm saying is that my classes are my classes, and you'll either love them or you'll hate them. I'm a bit like Marmite, Del, You'll either love us or you'll hate us. There ain't no real grey ground there, like. But yeah, they're fun. I enjoy them actually. The one we've just done was very good. In fact, all of them are very good. I enjoy all my classes that I do, I've seen my students, and I think it's a great, as somebody who shares knowledge, it's a great honour for me when I have students who go out into the industry. So I have, a couple of girls who've done my mentorship programs and my classes. They're now in the industry. Two's on platform, and one's out there private sitting. So, it's a great honour when I have students out there doing private sittings. In fact, I have more than one doing private sittings. I have a few doing private sittings. So for me, that's a great honour when I share knowledge, and the knowledge in which that I've given, and the techniques in which that we use, me in the spirit world, get them students where they want to be. That's the whole purpose of producing really good evidential mediumship professionally. That's a big thing for me, making sure that the mediums are professional, they're ethical, they have a good tool bag with them, so that they are prepared. Sometimes mediums can sometimes feel like they're not prepared in the industry, and that's something I drive home quite strongly in my classes. And then obviously, like I say, producing good evidence, it presented in a very good way, so that obviously the clients understand that, as well as the spirit world. And I have quite high standards still, I've got to be honest, not only in my personal life but also my mediumship. I like to say good, if not excellent, to amazing, evidential mediumship. And it's something I'm very passionate about. I know lots of other mediums in the industry are very passionate about as well. It's something that really drives me and drives my classes. I've enjoyed the classes I've attended. Del, get yourself booked in. You were surprised with what you achieved. Well, thank you for that, Marie. I'm very kind of you to say that. Now I'm very honoured and very touched that you'd say that about my classes. My reviews speak for themselves. My work speaks for itself these days. I'm just doing my thing and doing me, and I'm quite happy in that space. I gotta be honest with that connection. So yeah, there's Kathy talking. Yeah, Della, highly recommend. As a mentor in the classes I've learned and grown so much short time with that. Yeah, well that's really nice of you to say, like, lasses. Thank you very much for your candid and very honest. Speaking of my classes there, as you're saying, the work speaks for itself. Some of these are students, so. By all means, certainly check that one out. That's, I can only do what I can do. I never make promises I can't keep, and I don't make things that I can't deliver. Laura's saying she loves the classes. There you are. Del, I think it's a done deal, like, I gotta be honest. We do have gentlemen in the classes as well. It's not just women. My classes are, multifaceted, not only for the women, but also for gentlemen as well. You know, I have a lot of different ethnic backgrounds and ethnic like people, and you know, this type of thing. So you know, my classes aren't just designed for women in mind, they're designed for everybody, you know, and that's the way I believe mediumship should be. Mediumship is for everybody, and everybody should enjoy it, and everybody should be, you know, able to access it, is the best way I can put it. So I hope that answers your question, Del. It certainly looks that way, and I can only thank the girls and stuff for their lovely comments and their, you know, things that they're saying about the classes. Good, Laura's sticking up some bits and pieces there for you, so certainly have a look at them and certainly get involved in that. Let me tell you a little bit about the classes and courses in which that we offer. So we offer one-off classes which are coming to an end in October. Then we offer 4-week classes in a variety of different things, building on your mechanics, the beginners. We do ones on spirit guides. A new one I've just brought out, which is a psychic detective, which I'm very excited to be bringing to you know, to the northeast. I don't think there's anywhere in the northeast actually doing that class at the moment, so I'm very excited to have that one in. And then we do the mentorship programs, which is in private sittings, beginners, and I think that's it. I'm just doing them too. And then there's some brand new packages coming for 2021. Well, actually, we're in 2021. We're nearly at the end of it, actually. For 2022, which I'm very, very excited about to be bringing to you. So, yes, it's a very exciting time. So, Dale's saying, oh, wow, I think I should do that. Well, yeah, they've sold them to you, Dale. They've sold them to you, you know. But, yeah, certainly have a check out, have a look at them, see what you think. So, any other questions? Well, I have a mouthful of this too. Well, I'm just waiting for a few of you to sort of write some questions. It's my first cup of tea, because I've been busy since about 7:15. That's what I've been. About 7:15, 6:30, 7:15. Because I've been training for a couple of hours. I was training earlier on today as well, and then I've been busy with other things, so it's been one of them days. There's Laura just adding in the classes and the courses for you if you are interested. Any other questions? I thought it might be a little quiet today, this first one back, you know, but it's, like I say, it's a real pleasure to be back. I've missed YouTube actually quite a bit, but like I say, other things have been needing my attention, is the best way I can put it. So I'm very happy to be back here as well. So yes, there's Laura just adding some more for you as well. So I'm just waiting to see if any more of you have any more questions in regards to mediumship. Marie's asking me, what's Chivy's crack lately? What's your guys? What's my guides been up to? Oh, well, lots of different things. We've been very busy with new classes, courses, development, my own development as well. So I took a lot of scared to ask, only joking. Thanks, Danielle. It's all right. I took a lot of time out to do a lot of personal development a couple of years ago, which, you know, is a constant sort of evaluation I'm constantly looking at. But there's a lot of like mediumistic development going on again. So there's a lot of new awarenesses coming in, new looking at the spirit world again, how I can learn from the spirit world, what can the spirit world teach me, you know, these types of things. A lot of talk about broad work in regards to, you know, us going abroad and doing abroad work next year. Some things that they feel at this time maybe need to be put to one side, and they'll be picked up later on further down the line. All sorts of different things, Marie, to be honest with you. A lot more to do with, you know, classes, courses, you know, this type of thing. Personal matters that are going on down here with some new bits and pieces that are brought in on the earth world. So if we talk about all sorts of different things, you know, it depends on, you know, it just depends on, you know, what's on my mind at that particular time, Laura. I've got to be honest with you. So I hope that answers your question for you a little bit there, Marie. Kathy's saying, can you talk about your book? I haven't ordered it yet. Yeah, this one. Hold on, we'll look it out. So, oh, that's not mine. I've got some books under here. Hold up, here it is. So here it is. It's Freestyling Mediumship. This is my second book. Third book is on its way. I've got to be honest, it's going to be available around about Christmas next year. Probably pre-ordering around about the summertime. Available the back end of next year. It was due this year, but I've been quite busy with other things, so obviously it's had to not take a back seat, but there's other things that have taken my attention. So this book is I had my first book out, which I felt for me could have been done a lot better. So what we did was we took this book and the first book and sort of combined them together. And inside of this book, we have like a development center. So let me show you that. So this is a development center. So it gives you sort of hints and tips. You can sort of jot down what it is that you're getting from your team or what you're getting from your sitting in the power, sort of bits and pieces in order so that you can refer back to. I would highly recommend you probably write it in pencil so that you can sort of, it's a reusable book. It's a development book. It's a book that can be constantly reviewed, altered and changed. You can actually refer back to the notes if needs be. Inside of it, I talk a lot about emotional intelligence and spiritual intelligence. I talk a lot about, you know, stuff that goes on with regards to triggers, you know, people, you know, things that, you know, are part of your development, part of your journey, if I can put that to you, and the ethics and the connections to ethics. Some people who can't sit, because it was a big thing that people used to talk to me about. Like, oh, Danielle, like, I can't sit for the spirit world, or you know, I hear people sitting in the power ring or do meditation, but I can't do any of that. So there's a section in there about that, because I know that there's something that people really, you know, do sometimes struggle with. We talk about, you know, online work, so social media, you know, because social media and mediumship is now becoming sort of hand in hand, if I can say that to you, especially due to obviously the issues with COVID and, you know, restrictions that were placed in place. Yeah, there's an awful lot. It talks about the clairs and that, which most of us know, you know, but I think sometimes it's nice to refer back to, you know, how to develop them clairs, you know, these types of things. So yeah, it's available on Amazon. It's got great reviews. I know a lot of people who bought this and really do like it. You know, you can't please everybody, but you know, I endeavour to help as many minds as I can, or minds that will accept the knowledge in which that I give. Yeah, I love this book actually. But I'm really looking forward to my third book, and I'm not going to give anything away on that book yet. But I am really excited to bring my third book to the platform, and I'm very excited to, you know, bring that one 2 years out. But this one by far is one of my. There's a bit more in regards to the mechanics I use in the database in the next one. I can give you that. But yeah, it's an amazing book. It's certainly one that I thoroughly enjoyed and one that I really love. Are the spiritual churches open again? Yeah, I've done a few demonstrations since I think around, more so in the northeast of England. So I've done quite a bit. I did see him. No Shield, Jarrah, concert, you know, the local places in which that I go. There's some more coming in across the UK, so I'm going back out to do obviously traveling in the UK, which I'm very excited about as well. Which, you know, I really do like to travel, and I think I've talked about that before on YouTube, but I'm certainly going to talk about that again. It's an opportunity for me to build a level of understanding with different congregations, how them congregations may work, how them congregations may sort of differ from the ones in the northeast, how they may differ in regards to how I move forward, and how I constantly evolve as a medium, because as I've said before, and I'll say again, as a platform medium, every congregation brings something new to the table, a different awareness of wording with different sort of abbreviations and maybe northern, and sometimes people not understanding that northern twang. So yeah, it's a real opportunity to constantly grow and evolve as the medium, and constantly become aware of how I can improve my skill set as that demonstrating medium, because I'm always looking to improve. You know, it's a thing for me that I'm constantly, you know, doing the very best that I can, not only for myself but also for the spirit world as well, especially, you know, in the way in which that I deliver messages, how my work is presented, you know, all different types of things. Zoom has opened up a different world. I would agree to that, Laura. Yes, you know, I have students from all over the world now, you know, and it's a great honour, you know, to be able to look at it, to talk to students from all over the world and interact with them, and, you know, be able to sort of work with them and across that platform. So I would definitely agree Zoom has been a massive, but I was actually using Zoom before the lockdown. But yeah, as the lockdown did come in, and obviously the problems and issues that arose from COVID, it certainly made a big sort of impact is the word that I would use. But yes, I was actually using Zoom before that. But you know, a very, very good platform, and it's constantly upgraded, like everything, as time has moved on, and as people have used more of it, it's become more and more easier to manage is probably the word I would use. It's like any new product, you know, when it first comes to the market, it takes a while to sort of get the flow, but as they get their rhythm and they get an understanding of it, it becomes more and more easier for me as the client, well, me who purchased it, but also for the client as well. Delsin, I remember seeing you at Bournemouth. I think that's how Boringham Wood. I think I've got that right. A few years back, and you were amazing. I love demonstrating. I mean, I love teaching and out. You know what I mean? Away, it's not teaching; it's sharing the knowledge. I love both. I got to be honest with you on that one. You know, there's not a lot of things in mediumship I didn't particularly like. You know, I'm not a great fan of the psychic stuff, but I'll do it. I've got no problem with it. I know where. I know where it sits within the parameters of my mediumship. You know, I know a lot of people, you know, for whatever reasons use it in other ways. I'm okay with that. I've got no problem with any of that. But you know, I love to do communications. I got to be honest, it's one of my favorite things. You know, I love training. I like, but I don't know. There's something about doing communications for me that I don't know. I don't know. It sets my soul on fire. You know what I mean? Training sets my soul on fire and all, but demonstrating for me it probably will always be my first home, but training and sharing the knowledge is not far behind. I'd probably say it's the one's about 60%, which is probably demonstrational work, and the other one's 40. Do you know what I mean? But I think probably they'll end up being like 50-50, where I love doing both. I do enjoy both, I've got to be honest, but I don't know, I get a buzz off demonstrational work. I don't know what that is. I don't know why it does that to me, but I just get a buzz off it. I've got to admit, like I do. It's like, I don't know, it sets my soul afire. You know, teaching does now, but I don't know, demonstrating, there's something about that. Like, but thank you very much for your lovely comment, and thank you very much. You know, I'm grateful for anybody who comes to watch me demonstrate. You know, it gives me an opportunity to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk, if that makes sense. I can do both in that capacity. Marie's saying, since the lockdown, I find people are opening up more spiritually. I have a lot of great conversation with people, and there's a lot of waiting happening. I think it's always been there. I just think right now it's more accessible, if you can appreciate that, Marie. I think, you know, before Zoom and before the lockdown stuff, it was still sort of very much, you know, let's go down, you know, the spooky church, which is the spiritualist church to me and you, which I think for a lot of people, you know, was still a bit daunting or a little bit nerve-wracking. As Zoom and you know, the lockdowns come in and this type of thing, it's allowed people to sort of explore that. Can I say that? It's allowed people to explore that in the comfort of their own home, you know, and a lot of people like to do things from the comfort of their own home. They don't feel as probably as nerve-wracking is the best way I can put it. But for me personally, I would say it's more to do with the fact that it's always been there. It's just more accessible now. It's more accessible for people to be able to try it. Classes are very much available now online as well. So, you know, people are able to sort of come onto Zoom or go onto Facebook or YouTube or, you know, whatever platform that individual is working with. And, you know, it sort of allows them to do them things in a way that probably they weren't allowed to do before. They weren't, you know, maybe accessible, if that makes sense. Because obviously, you know, we all run very busy lives with children and things like that, and sort of getting to the church or, you know, to a place of business is a little tough going, especially after you've done, I don't know, 6, 8 hours, 10 hours, you know, in a shop or whatever, where you can go home, put your pajamas on, pull your hoodie on, and you still look like you're dressed and stand and do a course for a couple of hours, which, you know, when you've got little ones as well, you know, a lot of people have been at home with children, haven't been able to go out, so, you know, you can't really, children and things like that have you know, it's Zooming and the fact that it's made it accessible, and therefore because it's been accessible, people have been able to explore it more, which I think is a really good thing for the industry. And I think, you know, even not even just for the industry, but for the human race in general, you know, the evolution of minds, and minds coming together to be a lot more kinder, a lot more decent, a lot more acceptable of our fellow man is probably the best way I can put it to you, Marie. But yeah, I can agree with to a percentage of what you're saying there. Vicky saying, can you watch your demonstrations online or just in person? Both. So I do a lot of work at the moment in Canada and Australia in regards to demonstrational work online, and then I do a lot of work obviously here in the UK in person, but there is obviously a lot of abroad work coming in next year, which I'm very excited about because that's been on the back burner for 2 years while COVID's been on, and I'm like chomping, I've got to be honest, like I'm chomping at the bit to be away, not just in there, but there's a lot of European work and that now in place, and I've been very fortunate, very humbled that a lot of people have approached me, you know, not just through, you know, word of mouth through regards to my work, but also people have seen me in other places like Canada and stuff, and they've enjoyed the work, and therefore then have invited me to go away and work in other areas, which has then opened up doors for me for Europe and you know, other places like that. And you will see me not only in person but also online. So yeah, both, actually, both. I've got to be honest with you on that one, Vicky. I find people have got more curious, they want to know more about the spirit world. Yes, well, I think because we've lost quite a lot of people over the last 2.5 years, you know, with COVID, and then obviously, you know, other people passing to the spirit world, and you know, them types of things. I think people are a lot more intrigued to know where the spirit world is, and you know, where the loved ones are, and are them loved ones okay in the spirit world, and you know, an awareness of energy, and an awareness of something beyond the realms of what we can touch, this physical world, if you can appreciate that. So yeah, I can appreciate all that. Sweet, I'll keep an eye out for that. Yeah, you'll see a lot of it in the group. I know Laura did put the group link in. There's a lot of stuff goes in the group which we have, and you know, I'm very excited. And it's a canny little group, like, I've got to be honest, it's not overly busy, it's not underly busy, it's a nice steady little group, which is what I like. I'm a big lover of steadiness now. Once over, I wanted to move at like 10 million miles. Now I'm like steady as she goes. You know, the tortoise and the hare. I used to be the hare. Now I'm the tortoise. I just steady away and steady away. And eventually I get where I need to be. So, yeah. And I realise, you know, there's no rush in the journey. The journey is the journey. And you know, I'll make it, and if it's meant for me, it'll be on that path, and if it's not, well, then it was never meant for me. And again, that goes into what I was talking about earlier on, that, you know, there is no conveniences, nor is there any sort of coincidences in this life. Whatever's on my path will be presented to me, and it'll be given to me at the right time. So, and I'm quite happy with that, and I think that's a level of another awareness of my development and the trust. And I don't, like I say, I don't know the journey anymore. I walk the journey. There's a difference, and I think for me, you know, yeah, like the tortoise. That's right, Marie. You know, when you walk the journey is different to knowing the journey. Once over, I used to just know the journey. Now I walk it in every capacity, and that's a beautiful thing. Like, I've got to be honest, a beautiful thing for my soul and a beautiful thing for my mediumship, which is exciting. I've got to be honest. I see me. Well, and that's how it goes. Do you know what I mean? It's the way things are, and for me, it's an evolution. It's an evolution of learning patience, which, you know, something that I was very good at, like that patience malarkey. I've got to be honest with you on that one. But, you know, here I am, and, you know, I appreciate the patience now. I appreciate the silence. I appreciate all of them types of things. Once over, I could never understand what that was all about. Now I'm like, yeah, I dig this, you know, I get this. And sometimes it's, you know, when you've been waiting patiently for something, it just drops in. It's like, yeah, I knew that was coming. I didn't know when, but I knew it was coming, if that makes sense. And it's about divine timing and, you know, all them types of things, which is nice. It's nice, I've got to be honest. So, yeah. Any other questions? I'm just going to have a mouthful of this tea. My daughter bought me that cup. Very nice of her. I'm just having a look. Any other questions? So, well, I'm just here. I know Laura's put a lot of the links and things in there for any of the classes and courses in which that you just want to look at. And I'm quite happy to chat and have a little bit more of questions, but if not, I'm more than happy to let that stream go, and I'll get back. I don't know when we'll be back. I think maybe next week or the week after. definitely within the next fortnight, I think you'll be seeing me. I just wait because sometimes the YouTube stream can be a bit slow and just take a little bit of time for it to sort of kick in. Any other questions? It's been a pleasure, actually, being back chatting with you. I had a feeling this stream would be a little slower. It wouldn't be as quick as some of the other ones, due to the fact that I'm very aware that, there's, it's a new stream. We haven't been on here for a little while. It's going to take people probably a little while to understand that I'm here and aware that I'm here. So that's it. So I'm going to wrap this one up this evening. As Laura has put all the streams, links and stuff in, certainly do check that one out. Oh, Medium's got one here. He must have just been typing. Sorry, Medium. Right. Some people say that you should practice talking to the spirit world in day-to-day life when you're doing dishes, etc. What exercises do you recommend, and can you do that in our day-to-day life? Right. Got to remember, you're always connecting there. You're always connecting in, so you're burning energy. That's the only problem I've got with that. I'm not saying you can't do it. All I'm saying is you're going to be burning energy every time you do that. Every time you connect to the spirit world, every time you link in, you're burning energy. So you're burning power is the best way I can put it to you. Which is fine if you've got excess amounts of power and excess amounts of energy. That's great. But if you're feeling a bit flat in these types of things, you can maybe struggle with that one. For me, do I recommend it? Unless it's a burning question and there's something you need to know, then yes. But I would say if it's just regular chit chat and this, that, and the other, and yeah, I appreciate why mediums do that in the beginning because they're trying to build that relationship with the spirit world and all them types of things. But that can be done through sitting in the power or, that type of thing. So yes and no to that question. Yes, if it's an important question and, you feel you need the answers to that. But if it's just, just for the sake of it, then probably not no, because that can be done through sitting in the power or just sitting when you're working with the spirit world. So yes and no to that question, Medium, is my answer to that one. So yes, I'm going to leave this stream as it is. Thank you very, very much for all of your questions. We will be putting another stream up, or another date for a stream in the next 24-48 hours. Okay, thanks for your answers. Love from Toronto, Canada. Thank you very much for joining me from Canada. I know there's a few different ones in from different parts of the world, so thank you very much for that. Please do tell people about the channel, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you all within the next fortnight, so do keep an eye out for the next live stream coming up. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day wherever you are, a great evening wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye for now.